Second and 3 for the Blazers. Trailing 16-14, 11:40 to go. Caden keeps the ball. Caden at the 20, 15, 10. He's going to walk into the end zone. Caden Cochran with the touchdown, Tom. What a hole that was. Great fake by Theseus. Beautiful job by Caden Cochran. Gives the Blazers a 20-16 lead.
The David Dean Show. Your weekly look at Valdosta State University Blazer football. Here's your host, Dick Rocky, along with head coach David Dean, for a look at this week's Blazer football action.
Hello and welcome to the David Dean Show. I'm Dick Rocky with the head coach. The Blazers go on the road to Cleveland, Mississippi, and lose another heartbreaking loss to Delta State, the Statesmen, by a score of 36-33. Coach, great football game. Delta State, we had them. Delta State, just as they've done the last, seemed like forever, just came up with a couple more plays than the Blazers did on Saturday.
Yeah, they did. I talked to Ron Roberts, their head coach, before the game, and he was saying they had 36 seniors on their team, and it showed. They didn't panic. They put together another game-winning drive just like they did the week before against North Alabama, and unfortunately they converted 3 fourth-down conversions on that last drive. And I told somebody on our sideline when we scored and went up, I said, I think we scored too quick. We gave them too much time.
Yeah. Well, Tom Odom and I were talking about that. Tom says, of course, you got to score when you can score, but that's the way it was. But your football team, the start of the football game was horrible for Valdosta State. Within the first less than 5 minutes, we're down 13-0. They fortunately missed an extra point. But your team regrouped. I'm sure the coaches had everything to do with that. Your team didn't panic and really just played really good football, just made a few mistakes there that maybe helped cause the close loss again.
Well, it did. I was very proud of our players. They got down early. They threw a trick play at us and scored in 20-something seconds, and then we went 3 and out, and they drove right back down and scored again. And it's easy when you're playing the number one team in the country to say, we can't beat those guys. Our guys didn't believe that. They really felt like they could win that football game. And we fought all the way to the end. We went toe-to-toe with the number one team in the country and battled them all the way to the final seconds.
And I'm just telling you, we did some things that they weren't used to, over 447 total yards of offense, 266 rushing yards. Great day for Theseus Jackson, 177. So your guys battled back, and we just came up short.
Yeah, we did. Probably you take away 2 or 3 plays offensively, we had a very good night. That we throw the screen for the interception, and we drop a touchdown pass, and we drop a third down conversion sometime there in the third quarter, and you take those away, and it's really probably not even a close game. We win that game walking away.
Back with first half highlights in just a moment.
Valdosta, more than you know, a place where kids dream and kind hearts prevail. In a setting full of recreation and excitement for all ages. A city of vibrant growth, career opportunities, and a thriving business environment. Combined with progressive thinking, it's about exploring your future. Valdosta, Georgia, more than you know.
Coach, it was a late start to another TV game. Pretty good. One of the better crowds I've seen at Delta. Still not a very big one, but your football team, I don't know. I don't say they're intimidated at start. Anything to the start of that football game that concerns you with the football team? Do you just think they sort of grew up a little bit after they went down?
I think they did. They executed a reverse pass to perfection. And our safeties bit up on the reverse, and they did a good job of executing that. And then they put together a good drive right after that. They're a good football team, very, very good offensively. And when they put together that drive, I don't think our kids were intimidated. I don't think they were scared. I think they just, got caught by a good football team early in the ball game, and we buckled down and started playing a lot better.
Well, they are number one in the country.
Yeah,
so
there's a reason for that.
A reason for that. Let's take a look at the first half highlights.
We warmed up very well. We were excited. We were ready to go play, and as you can see, we had a good crowd that we brought with us. And this is a very, very dangerous return man. The second straight week we faced one, and Eugene Glenn does a great job of running him down right here, and we stopped him at the 21. yard line, and we miss a tackle here right off the bat and give them a big play. Great stop there by Chris Gaspari, and then they come right out second play and run this reverse pass. And you see he's going to be wide open. They execute it perfectly, and to their credit, they jump on us 6-0. There was a reason why they won the toss and took the ball. And we got called for a holding there. We picked up about 8 yards and had a holding and ended up not being able to get a first down. And then they come right back and throw a little in cut for a big play. And they do a good job. Micah Davis is a really good quarterback. Executes their game plan very well. They've got a good offensive line that protects very well for him. And this is the other thing that he can do is he can run the football. He does a great job with their zone read stuff. That first drive we came out and we had a low ball that was a couple of low balls that were thrown and weren't able to convert. And then this is a third down play right here, and if he keeps his feet, we got a first down, and we come out and fake the punt and throw it to one of our defensive linemen there, Trocon Gay, and he makes a great move, great run, and gets us down there inside the 20-yard line. Get a good run here by David. And we end up stalling out and asked Daniel to come in and hit the field goal, and unfortunately he pulls it to the left. So we're still down 13-0, and put our defense back in a situation where they've got to make a stop. And fortunately for us, they did. They did a great job of coming out and stopping those guys. And here's something that we were very methodical with. We were going to run the football on them. We felt like we could, and we did. And here's a little naked play, and you see Caden does a great job of faking those guys out, throws the ball there to R.J. Davis. And, we convert the first down there, and then really a nice play right here, throwing the ball to Quinn. Gets us some positive yards there, and then I think this is probably one of the best throws of the night right here. He laid that thing perfectly in there to Shontavius Jones for the touchdown. And, cuts it back to 6, and our defense started playing very good. They were pursuing the ball. Here's another one of those unlucky breaks that we're getting. The ball just rolls out of bounds after a fumble. Do a great job there with the zone read. Don't let the quarterback get loose, and we're close right here to getting him. We just keep going, and smart player that he is, he gets the ball out of there, and they end up having to punt to us, and we throw the screen here. We get called for a hold again. We get positive yards and get called for a holding down the field. And then we end up throwing the ball here short. We had to flush out of the pocket. The receiver comes back beyond the pole there, and we have to punt. And again, good pressure right there. And Tevin Davis scoops it up, takes it in there for a touchdown, and the extra point gives us a 14-13 lead. So we've battled back and taken the lead and are still playing very good football defensively. We're shutting them down, and there's a nice little play they have, the little shuttle pass that we run quite a bit. He runs the ball very well, and they hit a big pass that completes it down there and moves into the red zone area. And then they come in to kick the field goal and nail that to go back up by 2. And then we do a great job, I thought, right here. Well, unfortunately, we lost David Bailey on that play right there. He didn't get hit. He planted, and we believe he tore his ACL, and probably going to lose him for the season. Big third down conversion there to Griffin Riley, and then come right back here to Reggie Lewis. Reggie makes a great move right there and picks up another 7 or 8 yards. And right here, we had a wide open man in the end zone that we overthrow, and then we throw another one in the end zone that we drop. And then we come out and we have a low snap and a low kick and don't convert on the field goal there to at least take the lead. But with the missed field goal early and then the drop touchdown, I felt like we left 10 points on the board and should have been up 24-16. And as you look at it, that ends up being the difference in the ball game.
We'll be back with the second half highlights in just a moment.
In each of us, there is a hero, a champion, a legend waiting to happen. This is no ordinary museum. The College Football Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana.
Cameo Holloway, Dodge County High School, fullback. You're watching the David Dean Show. Go Blazers.
Coach, you come out of the locker room, a close football game. What was the atmosphere in your locker room? What'd you talk to your football team about?
Well, there was a lot of excitement. You know, we were excited to get back out in the second half, and you know, I reminded them of how good a second half football team Delta State was, and I challenged them to be better than Delta State. They had won a lot of games in the second half, and it was to our year to try to win one in the second half. And our kids were excited to get back out there, and I think it proved that in the opening drive when we took it right down the field and took the lead immediately.
And your football team, they did take charge in that second half, really did, and I had the crowd quiet. The football team for Delta was down, you could tell it, and we'll see the play that really turned all that around in just a moment. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Yeah, I thought that our kids were, the entire night were into the football game, even after the quick start that Delta had. You know, we had some nice returns. We had some big plays on special teams. We had some poor plays on special teams. We've got to get better at that. But you know, I thought one thing we did very well coming out in the second half, and you know, I talked about this in the first segment, was we were going to be very methodical with our run. We were going to run the ball at them. We felt like we could, and we ended up making some big plays. A good throw right here to Griffin Riley, moving the ball down the field, and here's our little zone play that we run. And Caden does an outstanding job of making a great fake. Theseus does as well. And, we took the opening drive of the third quarter and go down and score, and go up 21-16, and then our defense came out and played had a great series right here, forced Micah Davis to throw the ball away, and they end up punting to us. And then we get a big run right here by Theseus. Unfortunately, we did not continue the drive. We ended up getting a good punt there by Jack, and our defense comes back out and has a big interception right here by Trocon Gay, and great return. Trocon played very well, as you can see in the ball game, and then another nice little play right here, a little quarterback keeper, the run play that we have, and he gets us down there to the 5-yard line, and a good run here for the touchdown. And you know, now we're up by 11. We've done a great job here in the third quarter of expanding that lead, and our defense is still playing well. They're not getting any yards on the screen. And they had a great punt right there, and you know, first play we take it right off the goal line. Big run right there by Theseus. To get it off the goal line, we come right back with Troy Braswell. Really not a big guy in stature, but runs the ball very hard and punishes. And here was the difference in the game right here. We don't throw the ball away, and they end up catching our screen and return it for a touchdown right there. And that got them back in the ball game. Like you said, their crowd, their players, you know, they were kind of shell shocked at that time, and that got them back in the ball game right there. And to their credit, the next time they have the football, they put together a good drive and go down the field, and they end up scoring a touchdown, and then they miss the extra point. So we're still up, or we're down 2 now, but we're in a position where we're in good shape. We can get a field goal to take the lead. We get another nice run right here, and I think we took this drive down in about 5 snaps and put the ball in the end zone. And this is when I told somebody that I think we probably scored a little bit too quick and left them too much time on the clock. And I would like to have put together about a 5-minute drive, but you can't ask your players to do that. They put together a good drive and scored. This one right here was really disappointing to me. I really felt like they were moving on their punt team right there. They did not get set before they sent that guy in motion, and they end up converting it on a 4th down by about a half a yard. They converted 2 more 4th down conversions on this drive. And here's a big run they had that, fortunately for us, was called back. And then they threw the ball down there and completed it. And here's the last play right here that they end up taking in there in the end zone for the touchdown to take the lead. And we come out and we do complete a pass, and Then we gave up a sack, and then Caden was just trying to scramble around and get the ball thrown down the field, and ended up tripping and falling, and time ran out right there.
You know, Coach, it's happened so many times with Delta State, it's almost, we can't figure it out. And as I said on the radio a few times, it's been a series of streaks. We won 5 in a row in 1 year. They follow that up with 5 in a row or 6 in a row. Then we come back with 5 in a row. And now they're unfortunately on a 6-game winning streak against the Blazers. It's always a good, hard football game, but it seems the atmosphere after the game, your players responded extremely well after extremely disappointing loss with the way they handled themselves.
Well, they were. This is probably the most disappointed I've ever seen our team in the locker room. It was very quiet. A lot of heads were down, and you know, we as coaches, we were trying to pick them up and say, you know, you played a great ball game. We just ran out of time. We didn't finish. We didn't, whatever you could say. But our problem was, you know, we just didn't make the plays at the end of the game. We did not stop them, and they put together almost a 7-minute drive to win the ball game.
Absolutely did. It was a heck of a football game. Blazers just come up short. We'll be back with some scores in just a minute.
I'm Larry Bryant. I'm from Tifton, Georgia. I play defensive line, and you're watching the David Dean Show. Go Blazers.
Coach, take a look at some scores, and actually some scores from the SAC of interest to us now, but I'll mention Albany State 19-13 over Clark Atlanta.
Yeah, they got to keep winning for us, so that helps us in our strength of schedule, and I think they're going to end up running the table. That game with Fort Valley is going to be huge at the end of the year.
And all these scores are important to us, and they're all good scores for Valdosta State. Newberry wins 42-41 over Tusculum.
Again, you know, Newberry's having a great year this year after they got off to the slow start, losing to North Greenville and then us. They're playing very good football.
Wingate 51-41 over Catawba.
And another one, they keep winning, and as long as Wingate and Newberry can continue to win, it helps us as far as playoff situations if we can win our last 2 ball games.
And then this coming weekend, Saturday's opponent, West Georgia, loses 35-23 to West Alabama. But they're better. They're playing well.
They are. They're playing very well. And from my understanding, I didn't see it, but I heard West Alabama scored on the last play of the game, so it was very close. And I know that West Georgia was winning at the halftime. So they're a much improved team. They've been young for several years. They've got a senior-laden team now, and they're obviously playing a lot better.
All right, Coach. We'll be back with the Langdale Honda Kia look ahead in just a minute.
Valdosta State University.
Encouraging.
In-depth inquiry.
Hands-on experience.
Service and involvement.
And a global view.
While offering
a beautiful residential campus.
Over 100 fields of study.
Graduate and online degrees.
And championship athletics.
All in a warm and friendly community.
Get connected and involved.
Do more. Become more.
Valdosta State University.
Welcome back to the Langdale Honda Kia look ahead. And Coach, we mentioned West Georgia coming to Valdosta, 2 o'clock kickoff at Bazemore Hyder Stadium.
Well, we're playing for the Peach Basket again, and you know, this is always a huge rivalry for us. This is one of those recruiting battle wars. You know, you want to have the bragging rights in the state of Georgia. You know, fortunately for us, we've already beaten one in-state rival, Albany State, and now we have an opportunity to beat a second one with West Georgia.
We just mentioned this West Georgia team has improved the last 3 years. Maybe they're just better and better and better and better.
They are. They're playing over the past couple of years. They've played with a lot of sophomores and freshmen and juniors, and now they're moving up to be seniors. And you can tell they're playing much better. They got a winning record this year. They're an outstanding football team. What has plagued them in the past is they haven't been able to score, and they're scoring a lot of points this year.
As they come in, they like to diversify a little bit. You know, some teams throw it a lot, run it a lot. I know all you coaches like to do both.
Yeah. Well, their quarterback is actually a transfer from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and I think he's from over in Early County, and he does an outstanding job. He's a great athlete, runs the football very well. So they like to get him out of the pocket, move him around, do a lot of zone read stuff, quarterback keep stuff. He's basically a wildcat guy at quarterback, an outstanding athlete. So the big thing for us is we're going to have to contain him, and he's got a lot of weapons out wide. They've got a great wide receiver, last name is French, that plays very well. They've got 2 really good running backs. So they're outstanding, and then their defense has improved every single year, and they've always done a good job against us of playing us toe-to-toe when they come in and when we go to battle with each other.
Are you a little concerned with your football team's mental outlook right now? You're going to have to work with them a little more this week.
No question. That was a heartbreaking loss. The way that we lost it in the last seconds of the ball game against the number 1 team, when we really felt like we outplayed them, and not to walk away. And then you look at it over a 5-year period, we haven't beaten those guys. It's been the same thing. We're right there and we can't finish it. So the psyche of our team is going to be something that we're going to have to deal with this week, and it's going to be a challenge for us as players and coaches.
All right, Coach. Valdosta State drops their 2nd game of the season to the number 1 ranked team in the country. 2 o'clock this coming Saturday, West Georgia comes to Valdosta. I encourage you to come out and support this football team. They've proven they deserve it. They're exciting. They're fun to watch. And just bring some friends and come out on Saturday at the Baseball Hydro Stadium. So for the head coach, David Dean, I'm Dick Rocky. Hope you have a great week.